Dear viewers and subscriber, thanks again to watch our YouTube channel Max the Service. Max Service is the only YouTube channel to take care of providing videos with proper information like documentation, architecture discussions, and working with practical examples for beginners and expert to learn by watching videos on Max the Service YouTube channel and start leading in the industry.
Dear viewers, thanks for watching Max the Service YouTube channel. And in last session we developed a demo application using Spring Boot and IDE development environment. We use VS Code, and for registry we use GitHub and Docker Hub, where we pulled the Docker image, and we also use registry Docker Hub, and we also use CLI and Docker desktop. How to develop, how to create image, how to run image as a container, everything practically we did in last video. In this video, we will again recap the concepts of Docker. What is container? What is an image? What is registry? What is the Docker Compose? Let's start with what is Docker container. So let's start with the discussion of Docker concept. So first concept, why Docker container came into existence, what the revolution in development and deployments come with the Docker concepts. So today we will be discussing how and why we need containerization, right? So to start with, let's suppose we have been asked to develop a full stack application where we need front end like Angular or React, with the backend APIs like we can use Spring Framework or .NET, and also we will be needing a relational database, which is MySQL. So let's suppose we are going to develop a killer application, or killer web app, or we are going to develop a full stack user management system, whatever is. It should be contains all front end, back end, and database. And the same time, we need developer to start on the same application so that we can get develop things fast and in a better way. So another developer start working with the Angular, and let's suppose Spring and MySQL. Okay, they started development, but they forget to sync with the versions. Like developer one started with the Angular 8 and Spring Boot 2.3.6 and MySQL 8.0.1, and the other developers start working with the Angular 12 and Spring Boot 2 and the uh, MySQL with version 5.0.1. So they have started and they are ready to deliver their application. So what is challenge here? Here, when we ask them, okay, please merge your code and give their application for quality assurance testing or for UAT, whatever next process in SOP. Okay, so what is the next challenge? Let me share another slide. Okay, now application is ready and developer one merge into repository and also developer two merge into the same repository. They merge their code so that application can be merged and deployed. So you can see we have development environment, staging, and production environment. Here we also have some installation of Java, JDK, Java, Spring Boot libraries, Angular, MySQL. We have to take care of the version, what we version developer 1 has been started with, developer 2 must be start with the with those. Let's suppose they have merged the code and there is no any further testing, and they started deploying their application on any environment. development, staging, or production. First, definitely they will deploy on the development environment so that unit testing can be performed. But guys, you can see here we have Angular 8. Okay, it is good that we have almost the similar version of Angular 8, and we have Spring Boot 3.5. But here developer 1 have 2.3, and MySQL 2.0, and here is also 2.0. Okay, but here conflicting with Spring Boot version. And also we have let's see the code of developer 2, it is also merged, and there is also variation with the version of uh, Angular, a big version. It's a latest one 12, and it's a old version 8. So when we merge and you will deploy your application, there will become a conflict, because there will be application not working properly. There will be some conflicts on deployment because your environment had different version, and your developers have different version. So this is the one challenge we have been facing in traditional environment. Okay, later on we realize, okay, we have to sync before merging our code, that we have a same version, and we also have installed JDK and MySQL on the all three environments same version, so that there are no more conflict when we deploy the application. So this is the second issue with the traditional environment. So let me show you the third one. Third challenge we have been facing in the traditional environment, it was when more than one developer start working with their own versions, and they started merging in CI/CD or in your parent branch, they will get conflicts. It's another issue which need to be fixed before merging their code in the main repository, so that the before because it is the basic and main benefit of central repository, so that these conflict can be fixed, so that rest of application will be deployed smoothly, so the from all developers have same version. But we have to take care. Okay, again, whatever version we have approved with, let's say we have approved 12, Angular 12, then here we again have 8. So this is another issue we have to take care. Whatever versions we have agreed on the development machine, on developer 2 or on developer 1, all those same versions should be available on our deployment environment, where we are going to deploy our application. MySQL, JDK, Angular, whatever tools and technologies we are using, the version should be same. So this is, guys, third challenge we have been facing in traditional environment. So let me show you how container come into the picture and resolve all these solution and overcome all these challenges. Here, guys, let me explain and show you the challenges and issues we have fixed with the latest technology Docker container. Okay, here you can see, first of all, we have to agree with the file. Okay, we have to mention all the versions. We are starting with development, like we have Docker file where we have to mention, okay, when we start our development and start running our application, it should be automatically download and make available. Okay, we don't need to install all these version manually here, but here in traditional environment and old development methodology, we have to download, we have to make sure all the versions. If developer one version with some version, then all the rest of developers should make sure that they have to download and make available on their development environment. Most of the time, when you initiated the application and you have downloaded and it is available on your local environment, any tools and technology with the set version, might be possible after few years there would be not available link, there might be possible not available that library to download and make the possibility for the development to start. So to overcome this is the first thing we have to just mention what version and what the technologies we are going to utilize. Then we start building an image. From Docker file, we have command to build the image, and then we run image as a container. Okay, so here you can see its container responsibility. When we start image running as a container, it will download all the mentioned version. Same similar version it should download and start working with these. Your application will be running on the mentioned version in Docker file. And again, another uh, a good benefit of containerization is you don't need to make surety, okay, I'm going to run a container on a different machine and I have to make sure all those versions are available there. No, you don't need to do this because it's container responsibility when you run your image as a container, because it is running on a Docker engine. Okay, and it is isolated from your operating system. Okay, it is not dependent, it is not relying on your operating system to ask your operating system, okay, make available all these versions, so I'm going to run and make the application available for users. But here, when you run your application, you have to make sure all these versions are available on your operating system. So here we don't need to do all this. It's container responsibility to run with all available version on Docker engine. How Docker engine operating system works, because we already have covered with the concept of virtual machine and Docker containerization. Actually, from one machine, we virtually separated one operating system with the virtual machines. It's mean we have one operating system, but virtually we divided more than one operating system. And then actually container virtualize the operating system, not machine. So let me show you clearly in next slide. In this diagram, it is clearly defined. Let's suppose we have three containers. One is app1 and one is app2 and a third one is with app3. Every container has its own in runtime environment, right? Uh, because it is all container running on a Docker engine, container engine, and you can see we have only one operating system, one hardware. We don't need to more than one virtual machine, like we have one hardware and we virtually divide one hardware into different operating system, then it's become virtual machine. When we virtually divide operating system into different environment, then it's called containerization. So you can see we have app1, app2, app3. At your app1 is running on Node, your app2 is running on Go, and your app3 is running on .NET. But you can see you have one hardware. Hardware mean your server, your machine, development machine, whatever you are working on, or any environment you have deployed your application. You have one operating system, either it is Windows or Linux, and just you installed Docker. Your this Docker engine will help you out to run more than one containers, but it's container responsibility to manage all the libraries and dependencies isolation way. App 1, all the dependencies and libraries have in its own container, so it is isolated from app 2. But it is very good that we have one operating system, one engine, and running more than one application, but with different libraries, different version, different, every container have its own dependencies and libraries. So this is the major concept are containerization. It actually help us to modernize our development, and it has boosted up enhancement performance from every aspect. We have utilized this technology nowadays. Okay, so the main points of containers are self-contained, isolated, independent, portable. Self-contained mean every container contains its own dependencies and libraries. Okay, and other aspect, isolated, yes, it is isolated. There is no any conflict, even though if you have node with in this container with a different version, it will not impact with this container already running node with different version. And it is independent, it is not dependent on even on operating system. Okay, if operating system did not have node installed, then your container will not get any problem. It will its own get the environment and start running your application. And fourth benefit is portable. You can also, if your container is running on a Linux, Ubuntu, you can also shift your container on Windows, and you can run as a you can run that image as a container on your Windows operating system. So it's containerization. It's your container responsibility to download and start with those runtime environment. You don't need to do any installation of further dependencies or libraries within that container. Okay, guys, this was a great video over discussion on containerization. What is container? Actually, it is object of Docker concept. We have three objects like image, uh, Docker file, image, and third is container. We will be discussing more in detail on Docker file and image in next videos. So please stay touch and be connected. Subscribe if you have not, and also press the bell icon and select all options so that you will be notifying all rest of videos. And also please share your comments if I'm missing anything and we need to improve something in a better way, then I will try my best. And thanks again. Bye.